You're listening to the Business Mike podcast. Amazing interviews with entrepreneurs and industry thought leaders.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Business Mike podcast. And joining me today is Mitch. Mitch, can you share with the audience a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Hi everybody. As you've heard, my name is Micheu Njiru, or you can call me Mitch. But if you look around, you'll also see I'm called the CX doc. I think few people out there decided to call me the customer experience doctor. So that's what I am. I diagnose customer service issues in organizations. I look for the right treatment for the issues and also preventative measures in curing CX issues. That's how I define myself. But in other times, I'm also the customer excellence director for the KCB Group.
Right. And how did you end up in this field of customer experience? I have so many guests on, and they all have different paths that led them to this point in time. So what's yours?
Well, mine is a very interesting one, and I would say it's more or less by accident that I landed in this field. I'm more of a marketer, and that's what I did. I mean, right from school, I studied marketing and product development for organizations like Nestle and you name it. And on that side, we were handling more of products, not people. I was not on the front end of seeing people. I was more of developing products for the people. And I had a burning ambition to find out what drives customers, what drives behavior. So I shifted from the product side, the back end, to come to the front and interact with the actual customers. And my big break was when the mobile telephone revolution started in Kenya. Through a company called Kencell, which is now Airtel. I joined in to do marketing, but someone there told me, look, there's something called customer service or customer experience. Would you like to try that, and build call centers and learn about customers? So that was the start of the journey. And that was actually the birth of customer service in Kenya at that time. That was the year 2000. Because prior to that, there was no institution that had institutionalized customer service in the country. So I was proud to be part of the pioneers of the customer service journey in this country. And the rest is history. It's been a decade in customer excellence.
Right. You mentioned something very important there, transitioning from marketing into customer experience. I'm of the same path myself. I started out as a marketer and then went into customer experience. But the question I wanted to ask you is to do with the alignment of those two strategies, because in marketing, your goal is to create awareness and convince your target market that your product or service is the best. Now, every now and then, sometimes this doesn't align with the customer experience. In other words, the promise isn't what's delivered in actuality. So how, from your experience, can the two departments work in harmony to ensure that the service being delivered is legitimately the one being sold out there?
I mean, you're spot on with your assertion in terms of that disconnect that we often find in very many organizations. And you'll find that it's not just on customer service and marketing, but it happens even with sales, with technology, with other functions. And it stems from the fact that sometimes customer experience is treated as a silo. It's treated as a division. It is not treated as part of the DNA of an organization. And to get that working, we must take the entire customer journey, and every function, every business function in the organization must see where they fit in fulfilling that customer journey. So the vision of the organization and your customer service strategy have to tie in. And then it has to be driven by the customer nuances. What are the customers saying or demanding of you as an organization, not a department? So you think about it globally as the organization, so that now customer service is just an agent, or the CX function is an agent, a catalyst to that. And marketing should just be delivering on what the entire organization has agreed on as your timeline on the customer journey. So the moment you're in silos, it will not work for you. It will not work for you. So We have to demystify CX as a function to make CX really the DNA of any organization for it to click.
I agree 100%, and that has been the challenge whenever I have these discussions with them. My guess is making CX the DNA. It's not easily adopted. So for some entities, it's a huge learning curve, convincing them to be customer-centric as opposed to being product-centric. So what are your thoughts on the future of CX and your cry out to basically all the leaders in the various organizations in as far as making CX a part of the entity's DNA? What can we do as CX champions in our various positions?
I think in various organizations or where we sit today, and looking at most executives within the various organizations where I have been and those that I've interacted with, one thing they want to see is value. What is the value? And the moment as CX practitioners, we can show, then they're listening to you. If they don't see what the value is, and you can quantify, you can put even mathematics onto CX and show how much the return is of CX into what you're doing. Once you demonstrate that, your CFO will listen to you. Your CEO will listen to you. Your technology people, they will invest in technology to help you manage that customer journey for you. So it will have that trickle-down effect. The problem is most of the time they do not see value. Then the other thing is that you must show them customer data. You must show them what is driving the customer today. What is motivating the customer today? What are the customers saying about you? And what are they not saying about you? Yeah. So you need to bring that knowledge, that information to the table. And then how do you translate it into tangible action points that the organization can make CX decisions based on information? And as you're saying, and you asked me what is CX going to, in the future, CX, how does it look into the future? CX, I would say, is now going to be XM, experience management. It will be about how do we manage the experiences of the customers in future? How do we personalize, engagements? How do we personalize product? Now very, very big. We need to have first-hand knowledge on who our customers are so as to be able to give them that personalized relationship and personalized service going forward. Because you're dealing with very intelligent customers. The customers of the future are sharper than I think some of the employees we have in the organization today.
Yes, I want to pull on that very last point you made. Is that we're living in a world now where a customer knows your product inside out, and not just that, they know your competitor's product inside out and all the various services they offer. So by the time you interface with this customer, you must be ideally on top of your game in terms of understanding your product and service, as well as understanding their preferences as an individual, like you're saying. So we're getting to a point now where leveraging those technologies is going to be key. But on the other hand, even when you explore the AI world, people are still trying to learn and understand these technologies. Ideally, in the future, that's what will help us bridge the gap. But today, if you ask anyone a detailed question on AI and how to employ it, we're still figuring this stuff out. So it's quite a while until we get there. And in the meantime, there are other basics, I think, which we've not yet mastered as institutions in as far as the CX is concerned. The very basics of how to build a customer-centric culture, a truly customer-centric culture. And that brings me to my next question, which is, how do you do that? How do you build a truly customer-centric culture in today's environment, especially with the pressures that you spoke about in terms of deliverables? The accounts person will tell you, okay, I see your initiative, but how much money is going to come next month or in the next quarter? And you might not have those exact figures at hand. So how do you overcome hurdles like that, for instance, to create the customer-centric organization?
First, we have to make customer experience everybody's business in the organization. I think that is always the starting point, that it has to be everyone's business. Whether you're in finance, whether you're in tech, whether you're in operations, you must know who are you serving, yeah? And everything that you're doing, who is it for? And you have your internal customer and you have your external customer. First, internally, how do you serve each other? Yeah, in terms of making things seamless across your internal organization. And then thereafter, how do you serve the external customer? And that everybody within the organization must see the external customer as their bread and butter. So everything has to work internally and seamlessly for that external customer. So that's one. All of you have to be in it. Then number two, you have to know who's your customer. Even you internally, you must agree who are you serving. And what drives the person that you, I would say, understanding of your customer? Is it a shared vision across the organization? And then you have to tie in now the vision and mission of your organization to a customer service vision and mission. They have to align, yeah? That if you're saying this is how you're going to make money or how you're going to treat your customer, it has to align to your CX vision and mission. So come up with a compelling CX mission and vision also tied to your organizational vision. And then now activate that and try to live through that. And then very importantly, is also hire for success, hire for the future. Have people within the organization also who have a passion for the customers that you're serving. Yeah, a lot of us, we're in organization where when we are hiring people, you hire almost, it's like hiring a robot. Yeah, people with no feelings, people with no compelling buy-in into your vision. They are just there to do things, stamp things and move along, stamp things and move along, but with no passion, no heart for the customer. Customer experience is about passion. As practitioners, it's for us to try and drive that passion in everybody across the organization. And then finally to that, we have to listen and understand our customers. Our customers tell us a lot of stuff, but do we act on it? Do we translate it into action? Do we show them that indeed we are listening and we are caring? We have to be authentic in the way we serve and push the CX agenda even from our customers.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Mitch. Earlier on, you mentioned that you're the CX doctor. And what that brings to mind on my side is you've diagnosed so many CX diseases, so to speak. So what are the most rampant CX diseases that you've encountered, and how best can we try and mitigate them?
You're making me feel like I should be looking for a stethoscope and my specs now to start looking for some of the many diseases that are there. But I can tell you, there are so many. One of the big diseases that I would say in organizations is that, like, we try to do everything. We try to fix everything at one go. It's not possible. Try and highlight what are the key areas in your business that have the greatest impact to your customer, and start fixing those ones first. You can't do everything at one time. So break it down into biteable, sizes for your customers and solution for those. Then the other thing is that we don't listen sometimes to our customers, or we listen from the wrong sources. I always say, go and listen to the sound of the river. Go where your customers are. Go to the points where your customers are interacting with you. Talk to them, engage with them, listen to even the bitter truth. Many times we want to hear the nice things. So if you look at even our CSAT reports are busy telling, we just want to know what are those good things that our promoters are telling us when you're doing an NPS score, what are the nice stuff in there. But we don't want to listen to what the detractors are saying. Or the past are saying, or the negative sound that is on our social media platforms, and you name it. Go into app. And those are some of the problems that I often see, or some of the top problems that you see within any organization that is saying that they are doing CX. One, don't listen to customers. Two, you don't invest in servicing your customer. And then three, we know it all. We do things we think are the right things for right products, the right solutions, without the engagement of the person we are pushing that product or service to. Those are the three sort of points I would summarize into, David.
Yeah, that's brilliant, because as you were mentioning the points, I was looking at them from a physiological point of view. In other words, if the organization is the human body, what are we doing to keep it as healthy as we can? So when you mentioned listening to customers, what I got from that is, go and have a health check. Is everything the way it ideally should be? Where there's something wrong, try and fix that. When you rely on the NPS and that's it, that's your holy grail. That's like your BMI being good, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're 100% healthy. So you can't sing and praise your BMI and stop there. You have to check the other things. And also when you mentioned trying to be positive and evaluating yourself. So just like with the human body, try and drop the things that are killing you fastest. You cannot fix everything at once. You go to the gym, you change your health, all in at the same time. It's impossible. It's a gradual process that you have to take one by one. So as the CX doctor, that is the message I have gotten from you in as far as that point is concerned.
Thanks, Daudi. At least you've swallowed that good pill and summarized it very well with a nice prescription for everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Second last, before we wind up the interview, you've been in CX for a very long time. What are some of the things that are true or that you believe now that you've witnessed that maybe you'd never have conceived when you started? Some of the things that you are living in right now and doing and seeing that weren't even a possibility before or hadn't crossed your mind prior to entering the profession?
I think for me, seeing CX becoming a serious conversation point in every organization today is absolutely remarkable. I can tell you, when we entered this field, no one ever talked of CX. No one knew what that was. The closest you had to CX were receptionists in any organization who from one department to another. CX was never a conversation point. We didn't have call centers then. Today, we are seeing customers across multiple channels, social media, on Twitter, on WhatsApp, on Instagram. I mean, the conversation points are so spread now on CX that was non-existent. We didn't have CX technologies that we have today. You can see the investment that organizations are putting in on technologies, be it call center technology, your call center call distribution systems, your eCRMs, your AI. You're seeing chatbots and robotics, coming in to serve customers. That was unheard of, because that importance of that customer was never there. I mean, we knew, yes, a customer just comes, buys something, goes away, and that's the end of the journey. But we realized that the customer will come. There is, before even getting to know about your organization, that is part of CX. How do you create awareness, out there? How do you onboard the customer to your products and services? How do you serve them along, the journey? Even at the point of their exit, how do you manage that if you need to manage an exit of your customers? How do you create advocates and ambassadors? I mean, seeing that happening today is just, it's astronomical. It's really mind-boggling. And then seeing that everybody is thinking tomorrow, what's the customer? Who is the customer going to? What's the next thing our customer is going to do? Which space do we need to play in now? What investments do we need to make now? And it becomes a conversation point around the customer. That is huge. That is big. And then now also seeing the conversations shifting from customer excellence being a division. Before it started off, it was customer care. It became customer service. It became customer excellence. Now we're even talking customer obsession. That's what we are talking about, in the world today. So to even see that entire evolution and to see business leaders and business function heads all coming around the table to discuss the customer, then that is a big, big, big milestone. And that's one thing when I look back on the rear view mirror, I can say it's been just amazing being part of that journey and even looking at future generations, our kids and how they are perceiving this customer journey for the future. It's intriguing. It's intriguing. And it's just starting. Yeah, that's the scary bit of it. That we think we've got it. Actually, I think it's just jumping ahead, because what's ahead will be more mind-boggling than what we are dealing with today.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the interview, Mitch. Thank you so much for sharing your brilliant insights on the customer experience. I'm sure everyone watching and listening has learned quite a bit. But before you go, can you let the audience know how they can interact with you, where they can find you online, and get to know more about what you're up to?
You're making me want to go and open a clinic now, so that you can walk in. But you can reach me on Twitter at Micheu Njiru, Micheu Njiru, Micheu Njiru, Micheu Njiru, Njiru. Or you can even drop me a line on email. You can just type Micheu, Micheu, at Njiru, Micheu.com. So Micheu at Njiru.com. Drop me a line. Follow me on Twitter. I think those are the spaces that you'll find me at. The rest of the time, I'm busy treating and diagnosing customer ailments and making sure that we have a healthy customer nation.
Thank you. Thank you once again, Mitch. A privilege to have you on the show, and look forward to having you again. I wish you the very best.
Thank you so much for having me, and everyone, thank you for tuning in, and just keep tuned again to this channel as usual for all these great insights. Thank you so much.